To today's webinar on preeminent job search strategies. My name is Darren. Very glad to meet all of you. And I'd like to see a bit personally who is out there. We have people from all over the world, Asia, US, North America in general, Europe. If you would mind on the right side of the screen to get to know you and also to make sure that works, would you mind just typing in your first name and what country you're from? And if you could do that now, that would just be very interesting. Meanwhile, let me just introduce myself very briefly. So I've been involved in career services for about 15 years now. In the year 2000, I was teaching part-time and earned my CPRW certification. That's Certified Professional Resume Writer. I worked for quite a few years and had a lot of client success, and was eventually asked to do speeches in community colleges and talks, webinars, and things like this. Eventually, I was consulting acting as a consultant, or worked with some of the major job boards out there. That's Ladders, Career Builder, Monster, Rise Smart, etc. And in that time, I've been able to help many people from a diverse range of industries, from IT, law, education, business, nonprofit, and all different levels, from C-level to entry level, people just getting started. It's something I get a great thrill out of. I've always had a natural ability, even way before the internet was invented, for those of you old enough to remember that, to be able to just to identify the job that I want, create multiple strategies to get it, to create my own resume, and get the job that I wanted. And when I found that there was such a thing as a certified resume writer, I thought that this would be a really fascinating career, being able to dedicate my career to create a career for you. So I've been doing it for many years and enjoyed very much. I'm going through a great deal of content today, and you should see at various times some offers. If you are interested in me helping you with your LinkedIn profile, resume, anything like that, please feel free to click on those. Also, here at the bottom of the screen, you have my email. Feel free to email me, and I'd love to work with you. So let's get to it. My goal for us today is that you're going to be able to take away high quality, real world content and immediate actionable items. Understand if you're going through a job search, to identify where your job search is lacking. And if you're about to create a job search for yourself and start looking for work, I want you to be able to create a highly effective, successful job search that ends as quickly as possible with minimum pain and suffering. Job search generally isn't pleasant, and you can tell how successful you are by ending it as quickly as possible. So please have a tablet handy, or pen and paper, or a computer where you can type some notes. I'm going to be giving out many good websites, a lot of good content, and you might want to write this down to save some information for later. Let's see, now on, as I said, on the left side of the screen, you should see the chat box. And let's see. And let's see. So you can type questions there during the webinar. We have a few sent in already, but feel free to send in any question. And if, as long as I didn't answer it during the webinar, I'll be happy to answer it. If it's things that I already went through, I don't mean to skip over you, but I'm going to have to skip over it to get to the other questions. Let's see. Last order of business is on Monday, East Coast time. We're going to be sending you a very brief, about a 1-minute survey about the webinar today. It's really just about 5 or 6 questions, just asking you how you felt about the webinar. Did you get something out of it? And also, we're planning to do future webinars. So we want to hear how you like the subject and what ideas you have for future subjects. We've done webinars on resume writing, how to develop LinkedIn profiles, things like this. So anything like that that you would find valuable, please let us know. Please feel free to hurt my feelings as much as possible. The answers are totally anonymous, so when you see the questions, feel free to give any kind of constructive criticism. Let's see. So let's get to it. Let me bring this up. Now, as I'm going through the slides, you might see. Let's see. It might be blurry, depending on your connection, just for a few seconds until it kind of settles down. If you just rub your eyes, wait a few seconds, it should be very clear. So let's get started. This is what we are going to go through today. If you asked me, if you only had time to go to one website, and if you asked me for one resource that would be optimal for your job search, what would it be? So my answer to you would be LinkedIn. Stay tuned and find out why. Now, however, the other social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, are an essential resource to your career search and one of the best ways to uncover the hidden job market, which we're going to be going through later today. Most of you have heard about the hidden job market. We're going to go through what that is, why it is, and how to make it unhidden. Lastly, there's a saying that I really love, obviously because I'm very biased, but the saying is, your resume is one of the most important life documents you own. When it works, you do. When it doesn't, you don't. So both your resume and your LinkedIn profile need to exploit SEO and understand what that is and how to create a resume and profile using that. And that's what we'll cover later today. Please stay tuned and stay awake for the full 30 minutes. Though it might be difficult, it'll be very much worth your while. At the end of the webinar, we actually have a mega deal, a really fantastic free offer. It's a free gift, which you're going to find extremely valuable. It's going to supplement all of the information that you're going to learn today and actually help you in a way that this webinar can't. It's going to be extremely worthwhile, help you a great deal in your job search, and I'm sure you're going to find it very valuable. So please stay tuned. Okay, your job search. So the key to a job search, first of all, is what comes before the job search, and that is to get all of your resources ready. I tell my clients that I work with, you should think of your job search as a battle. And just like you could sneak by and perhaps be successful if you only used your Army or only used your Navy, to end the battle as quickly, as effectively, and as decisively as possible, you have to use every resource you have, your Army, your Air Force, and your Navy. And that in your job search translates to your resume and cover letter. Your resume should be concise, clear, very well designed. It should clearly detail your history, strengths, and skills, and how you are a valuable asset to the employer. It should position you not as just a candidate, because there are going to be hundreds of those, but as the ideal candidate. The reason that you do or don't get hired in some ways is very simple. Employers search for people because they have a problem. If they believe that you will solve it, then you're the one that's going to get hired. An example would be Starbucks. They certainly don't think of it this way, but they have a problem in that they have clients coming into their store to get caffeinated, and the problem is they need someone to make the coffee and check them out. So if they believe that you are the most qualified candidate for that to solve that problem, then you're going to be the one to get hired. If they don't believe that, then you won't. LinkedIn and social media. So LinkedIn is one of the largest places to find jobs. It's one of the key places recruiters and employers are. It's one of the key places that the jobs from the hidden market show up. So to have a well-done profile that is more personal than the resume, it's a little bit different from your resume. Um, and to have it well done means that an employer or recruiter, when they're searching for whatever your job is, accountant, project manager, administrative assistant, whatever it is, you'll be on page one when they search. Lastly is continuous learning. You might be great at interview skills or negotiating your benefits or salaries, but there are constantly new job search apps being created, new tools, even within LinkedIn and Facebook. One day they'll just pop up with this great new job search tool. So it's important to keep abreast of what's going on online. This is how a job search should look. While there are definitely more than two things going on, you should schedule a certain time for everything that you need to do. So one of the main things is developing your LinkedIn and social contacts. That means getting people to refer you on LinkedIn, building up your profile, getting people to endorse you for skills, definitely applying to job leads. That's the majority of your time. And once you start learning and looking online, you'll find, for example, niche job boards. Let's see. So for example, if you're a registered nurse, if you look online for terms like RN job boards, best healthcare job boards, things like that, you'll find, for example, the job board for Kaiser. You'll find a job board that focuses on medical jobs. You'll probably find a job board that specializes in healthcare jobs within New York City. So very specific things. Let's see. So one important thing also is to make sure to schedule time for your job search. So about 2 minutes ago, I mentioned you should look at your job search as a battle. So never mind about that. You should be paying attention to what I say. Just kidding. You should think of it as a battle in one way, and in the other way, you should be thinking of your job search as a job and set a scheduled time for it. Whether that's 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day, whatever, it's important to set a schedule and keep to it. Just like if you went to the gym kind of once in a while when you felt like it, you really won't see many results. If you schedule time at the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., you'll do two things. One is you'll start seeing great results, hopefully. And secondly, you've now empowered yourself for your own success. On your job search, let's say you spend an hour a week. Let's say 39% going on job boards, 61% searching online for new things. So, and you spend an hour doing that. So let's say at the end of the week, you have 50 good job matches and get 5 interviews. So now you're pretty much put yourself in control because you realize that if you spend about 50% more time, statistically this should be true, you should be getting 50% more matches and about 50% more interviews. If you spend less time, you're going to be getting less results. Let's see. So the next thing is to also keep in mind when you're scheduling the percent of your job search, keep in mind the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is a phenomenon that's true across many, many things in life. It basically states that for 80% of your results, 80% of your results, they generally come from 20% of the things you do. In many sales organizations, they find this to be true over and over again, that 80% of their profit comes from about 20% of their people. So an example of a good job search, let's say you want to start with 50% of your time on the large job boards and apply to everything you find there. 25% of your time building up your LinkedIn profile and searching for jobs on LinkedIn, and 25% looking online for different job search strategies. So after a week, you might find that you found 100 jobs on LinkedIn and only 20 on CareerBuilder or Monster, those big boards, and found 2 niche job boards specifically for your career. What I'd recommend in that case is stop going to those large job boards. They're not being productive whatsoever. I would then change your job search to something like 50% of your time on LinkedIn, because that's where you're finding all those jobs. Spend 25% of your time on these new job boards that you found. And now you're going to have to spend about 25% of your time going on interviews. Okay, so let's get into the hidden job market. I want to ask you a question, and feel free to answer just to yourself. What percent of jobs do you think are out there in the public? There are newspaper classified ads in those large job boards. And what part do you think are private? They're only on certain job boards, internal to different companies. They're hidden. So do you think it's 50% public, 50% hidden? Do you think it's more 60-40? Well, please be sure you're sitting down. Please take a deep breath. Most job search experts, certified career coaches, and people in the industry, every study that they do find that basically anywhere between 80 to 85% of jobs are unlisted. Why this is not because HR people are evil. It's because they want to do their job as effectively as you do. And if you consider from their perspective the cost of preparing ads, search campaigns, it could be enormous. Also, think for a moment, and this is something else that also you can answer. How long do you think it takes once an ad is placed in the public? How long do you think it takes for someone to apply to that? So do you think a company receives their first applicant, their first resume in 30 minutes? Do you think that it takes 15 minutes? Do you think it's closer to 10 minutes? Well, please, again, be sure you're seated. Most studies show it takes 3 minutes and 33 seconds for an employer to receive their first response. And most jobs, depending on the industry, will get anywhere between 200 to 250 applicants. So most of them are unqualified. So people that are putting out those job leads, they want to be as targeted and focused as possible. Okay, let's see. Now I mentioned that on your job search, if you only have time for one site, that site should be LinkedIn. And I don't work for LinkedIn. I'm not compensated for saying that in any way. However, if you do know personally Jeff Weiner, he's actually the CEO of LinkedIn, feel free to have him contact me. I'd love to talk to him and see about some compensation. But at any rate, I want to tell you why I say LinkedIn. There's a great study online, which you could see. It's on a site called jobvite.com. That's JOBVITE.com. You can see the entire study. I want to give you just a few key statistics. Over 80% of all recruiters use LinkedIn to find candidates. Over 95% of recruiters and employers use LinkedIn to contact you. So even if you do find a job and apply on these large job boards, most of the time they're going to be searching for you online. They're using LinkedIn to monitor their employers, and that's where they contact you. So let's get a comparison with some of those other sites. So 92% of recruiters hire through LinkedIn. How about the other guys? Well, I got some bad news for them. 24% of recruiters have hired through Facebook, and only 14% have hired through Twitter. Recruiters post jobs, 92% post jobs on LinkedIn. On Facebook, it's down to 48%, and a very small 39% of recruiters post jobs on Twitter. So that's the why that I say LinkedIn. Now the question you're obviously asking is, okay, so I want to be on LinkedIn. How do I create a profile that gets employers and recruiters to come to me? So that's very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. There are a few key things to make sure that you have. One is a headshot. If you have a well-done profile picture, you are 11 times more likely to be visited. Humans like other humans. Make sure your profile is complete. What that means is current job and at least 2 other jobs. You should go down to at least 5 to 10 years work experience. Many of my clients say that their older jobs don't relate at all to their current career target, and very often it's true. However, when I work with people, what I do is I try to find key transferable skills and the outstanding accomplishments, experience, and skill set from these old jobs that translate to your new job and the job that you're looking for. And that's why those jobs should be put there. Also to show the range of your experience. Your profile on your LinkedIn account should be a little bit more personal than a resume. And again, it should position you as an ideal candidate for the job you're looking for. Skills on LinkedIn, those are some of the key search terms that employers look for. Those could be resources you use. So if you're in supply chain, a key term would be Six Sigma, green belt or black belt. Let's say if you're administrative assistant, so Microsoft Office Suite, that should be one of your skills. So these are some of the key terms that employers can look for. Make sure to have your education and at least 3 recommendations or testimonials from other people. And what that translates to is about 1 recommendation per job. Now, who should you ask for a reference or a referral? Definitely old employers, current employers if possible, old supervisors, workmates. Depending on when you graduated, a professor still remembers you, professors, classmates. Also, please consider people outside your career life. So people from church, people from volunteer organizations, any kind of family friends. You don't need to put that this person is a personal friend of yours. You could really just put their position title on your profile. Employers look for 2 things on references, whether that's a reference that you could give during your interview or on your LinkedIn profile. Number 1 is who this person is. Is this person well known? Is this person the CEO of the company? And number 2 is what they say. So if you're in IT and you have Bill Gates refer you for anything, no matter what he said, unless it's a horrendous insult, you should put it on your profile. You should probably put it in your resume as a pull quote. You should put it in your summary. You should showcase it as much as possible. If you have someone not as famous, so you should consider what they say. If you're in sales and let's say a workmate or some friend or something, remember the time when there was an account that was about to go to a competitor, and because you have such strong social skills and such strong negotiation skills, you brought this person back. So, and they could speak about that, so that would be great to have on your profile. Let's see. Let's go to other social media. So even though these sites like Facebook and Twitter aren't as popular with recruiters, they are great sources to find people that you know that work at these companies that you might be targeting. If you do know for sure that you want to work at a large defense firm, so contact Boeing, Northrop, whoever it is, go to their Facebook page, their Twitter account, find key people there. Sites like LinkedIn and Facebook give you different levels of your network. So on LinkedIn, you have a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level contacts. So 1st is generally someone you know. 2nd is someone you know that knows someone else. And 3rd, it might seem like a complete stranger, but it is someone that knows someone that you know, which really isn't that far from you. Generally, you could also get on LinkedIn your 1st level contact to recommend you to your 2nd level. And the 2nd level, you could get to recommend you to the 3rd level. So you could get an inside track to companies that are hiring. Find the CEO, find key people, find the HR person that would be interviewing you on the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Create for yourself a presence on these groups. So consider they might be joining, they might have the same fraternity or sorority as you. You could join in professional groups. You could create content. If you have the time and you could go that far, create a blog and reference articles. If you don't have the time for that, you can really just find an article within your industry, something job related, and refer to it. So let's say you're in let's say you're in supply chain and you see a article about Six Sigma methodologies to reduce costs. So you could really just have a link to that article and say, hey, I found this really interesting article on reducing costs through Six Sigma. What do you guys think of this? And you'll have comments. You could eventually comment on other people's comments and create a name for yourself. Once you're known in these groups, also, these groups on LinkedIn are a really great referral source. So especially once you get known there and people start seeing quality content that you post, you could definitely put out there, hey, I'm actually looking for an IT job in Toledo. Does anyone here have any references or any ideas how I can find this? And you'd be surprised what you could find. If you asked me for the answer to the hidden job market, and you asked me to answer it in one hyphenated word, that word would be people power. So the more people that in effect you have kind of hired for yourself, that are now know that you are looking for a job and are searching for jobs for you, the quicker you're going to find a job, right? That just makes sense that the more people you have looking for something for you, the quicker you're going to find that thing. So like I said, even though Facebook is not #1 in several different categories, they do have new tools coming up all the time. This was created, I think at least a year or so ago, that you could now search by workplace. So if you have a lot of friends on Facebook, you could go to workplace, put in those companies you want to see, Apple, IBM, Starbucks, whoever it is, and you could see all the friends that you have there. Let's see, here's Twitter. Twitter, now they have, this is fairly new, that they have a tool that you can search for jobs. So you just put in a term like accounting jobs, and you have here PricewaterhouseCoopers. That's one of the top consulting firms in the world. And even though Twitter isn't the #1 place to go, these jobs that you're finding on Twitter most likely are not on the large job boards. They're not in classified ads or anything like this. So while this isn't the #1 resource, definitely a very key resource to use. There's one other one, which I'm going to use a different slide for. So one second, let me bring it up for you. Now also, you're going to be seeing you're going to be seeing some offers coming up on the screen. And like I said at the beginning, you'll be, if you want to click on those and check them out, if you're interested in having me help you with your job search, creating resumes, profiles, cover letters, anything like that, please feel free to purchase, and I'd love to work with you. Let's see. Okay, let's go to Glassdoor. It's a phenomenal resource. Let me bring it up a little bit bigger. So Glassdoor.com, we have this great tool for you. They have tons of resources. I'm just going to go through this first page. This is how many friends you have in how many different companies. And then C is available jobs and your friends that work there. So software engineer at Hotwire, these many friends. And then D is the companies that you have the most connections with. So here Expedia, this person had 119 friends. Here Microsoft, looks like 59 inside connections. So a great way to uncover job openings that aren't even open yet. One way that employers avoid the public is by internal referral programs, which are becoming more and more popular. And what these are, employers much rather have a reference from somebody already working there with a good reputation rather than just throwing a job lead out into the public. So very often they'll say, hey, in a month, we're going to have a job open in this department. If any of you know of a good candidate for this job, please let us know. And actually many companies provide financial incentives if employees can find for them quality talent, such as you. So there is definite an incentive for them to find you. Let me bring back our, let's see, okay. Get back to where we left off. Let's see, it's Twitter. Okay, so based on what I said so far, you might be thinking what I'm telling you is basically you need to spend 50% of your time applying to the big job boards, 50% of your time building up your LinkedIn profile, 50% of your time on Facebook and Twitter, and just about 50% of your time on company job boards and niche job boards. So no, that's mathematically and realistically not possible. So let me change your question for you, if I may. And let's say you asked me, there are so many different websites to keep abreast of and keep current on and monitor. How can I possibly do that? Well, there's a website for that. These are called meta sites. What meta sites do is they aggregate data from multiple different sites into one nice, clear, crisp, user-friendly dashboard for you. Two that I really recommend are D.com for jobs and CareerArc. So if you are looking for a job on Monster, you might find job A. On Career Builder, find job B. Had you gone to Indeed.com, you would find job A and B and C. CareerArc actually integrates jobs in your profile from Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Now, both these sites, they have a phenomenal tool in that you could give them keywords for them to search for you. So let's say you're an accountant, you should put terms such as CPA, CFO, corporate accountant, accounting jobs, things like this. And let me see. The camera. Second. Okay, let's see. You should be seeing this now. Okay. Okay, so all right, you should be seeing now Indeed.com and CareerArc. This is CareerArc, and what they do is they take all of these terms. So if you put in all these search terms for you, they collect all of the jobs that have those words in them. Let's see. So if you have these terms, and what they'll do is they'll actually email it to you, send it via Twitter, or send it on your phone. If you wanted to know how it's possible that people are applying for jobs within 3 minutes, sites like these are the answers. Anywhere in the world on any site that someone posts a job, boom, this person knows about it. They have their resume and their cover letter ready, and they just immediately apply to the job. Let's see. All right. There are always new apps coming out. Some have been around for many years, and my clients have had a lot of success with them. There's new ones coming out all the time. Some have worked very well for certain industries, others not. You could find usually good updated lists on sites like jobsearch.about.com and this one, businessnewsdaily.com. I just want to give you just a few examples, and we're getting close to question time. So we have a few questions already, but if you have any questions so far, please feel free to type it in the box on the right. Apps. So here at JobAware, that's been around for quite a few years. It's one of the highest rated ones for Mac and Apple users. It allows you to sync all your job search activity, get salary data, company data, etc. Facebook app from Monster, as we know. Career Builder has its own app. Career Friend is a great one from Facebook. And this is a very unique one. Intro works well with Android and Mac users, any side of the fence that you're sitting on. And that actually helps you connect with real life people, not just internet sites and profiles, but actually helps connect with your social media network, helps you to find contacts, also notifies you about real live events that you could attend, professional events, social meetups, tech events, things like that for people in your network. Let's see. And let's get on to one of the subjects that's near and dear to my heart, which is resumes. So the resume is really the root of your job search. Even though job searching and where employers put jobs has changed a great deal over the past 10 or 20, even the past 5 years, one thing that hasn't changed is employers need you to tell your story, and that is a resume. Um, it's really something that's timeless. It's really the main reason that employers want to bring you into an interview and hire you. And I don't see it, while other things are coming and going, a resume is not something that I see being eliminated in the future, no matter what kind of profile or online sites appear. To get the most bang for your buck, the most out of your resume and your LinkedIn profile, you need to understand SEO. What is SEO? SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And what that is it means that your resume and LinkedIn profile have the correct search terms. So when an employer says something like he's searching for a CPA for his open position, you, because of what you wrote in your resume and profile, are one of the first profiles that come up on his search results. Where do I get the right terms from? Well, the best place is straight from the horse's mouth, the horse being the employer, and you get that from the job leads. So here's a real live job lead from Indeed. Here's an IT manager. You can see it's very basic description, very common. You have your role, responsibilities, and requirements, and here are your SEO terms. So what the employer is going to be searching for and what he's going to put in his applicant tracking system. And actually, let me speak about that. ATS is one of your greatest foes and nemesis in your job search. ATS, or applicant tracking system, are programs that more and more companies are using to search through and scan your resume, look for these key terms. If your resume does not have this, then it gets sent to the circular file. If it does, then it actually will get sent on to the second level, which is a real life human being that's going to be looking through your resume and hopefully contacting you for an interview. What is in that applicant tracking system? What is the employer looking for? How do you get your profile to the top of search results? Make sure you have all these terms, skills. All these terms should be mentioned in your resume, on your summary, on your profile. These should be skills that you put into your LinkedIn profile, etc. So global IT infrastructure, you should be knowledgeable in desktop and server systems. You should have a bachelor's degree, at least 8 years experience, and be familiar with compliance issues like HIPAA, SOX, etc. Let's see. Now, the other important thing is to make sure that you use the right name for the particular tool or resource or job term. How do you know what the right job term is? A really great resource is Indeed.com Job Trends, a fairly recent tool that they added in there. So for example, let's say you're a project management professional. So that is a PMP certification. And there's obviously many ways you could write this. You could put that you're just looking for a PMP job. You could put on your resume project management, project manager, and a whole bunch of different options. What you do is you take these terms, let's say like you put about 2 or 3, separate by commas, and let me enlarge it a bit so you can see what's going on here. And click Find Trends, and you'll see actually trends for percent of that these terms are in job leads on this site from January 2006 to 2015. It should be more updated by now. But so if you only put in your resume PMP, so you're ranking about, you hit about 1% of the job leads. If you put the term project management professional, you're doing a little bit better, up to probably like 3 or 4%. And right now, the biggest at a certain time was just put a very general term, which is project management. And you get here probably up to about 12%, even though currently it's going down. So there, you might want to try some other terms. Let's see. Okay. And let's see, we need time to get to our questions. So let me just wrap up with this. This is another great way to get around your immortal foe, the applicant tracking system, is to take your resume and to put it into one of these sites, Wordle or TagCrowd, and what you get is actually a word cloud. And let me show you that. Let me make sure it loads up okay. Let's see, 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so you should see here. Yeah, there we go. So this is, when you put your now this is a resume from an administrative assistant that I put into Wordle, and this is what I got. So you can see administrative 5 times, office, use a surface, workflow, support, overseen, performed, higher, deadline, dedication. So these are all very key terms that were probably in the job description. Now you'll see big ones here, angels and loss. That's just because the person lived in Los Angeles. All of her jobs were in Los Angeles. So the term Los Angeles is mentioned many, many times in the resume. But just ignore that. The key thing are these key terms that you'll see very clearly how well you did that. Okay, let me go back to our presentation. Make sure it's working. Let's see. And let's bring it up. Okay, so even though there is much, much more to say, we're getting close to our question time. So I want to just summarize and then mention that mega deal, that very special offer that we have for you. So let's see. Also, if we don't go through your question during the question Q&A session, please feel free to email me. My email is going to appear back on screen, and hopefully should have written down. Let's see. So what we basically covered today is I explained the importance of preparing yourself for your job search with the right documents, resume, cover letter, profile, the importance of scheduling time for the multiple moving parts that are part of a successful job search. Keep in mind the 80-20 rule. Continuously look at your job search and consider what is bringing you greater success and what is really just being a waste of your time. We covered various online tools, the importance of networking, and the importance of the hidden job market, what it is, why it exists, and a few strategies how to break into it. The key ones being networking with other people, finding internal jobs in that company, and keeping watch on those mega sites. And lastly, we briefly covered SEO, search engine optimization, which is one of the most important parts of your resume and profile. Make sure to have those key terms there, and that's how you get in your resume and profile in front of employers. Let's get on to our mega deal. So special offer for you today. For those of you in career services industry, let's see. So you recognize this name, Sharon McCormick. She has multiple certifications and awards. She's a published author, noted speaker, and a real subject matter expert in a diverse range of career industry needs for career transitions, testing, different tests that will help you with your skills and strengths, different HR consulting issues. So she is offering, for those of you that are still awake and still listening and made it through the webinar, I congratulate you. Please write down Sharon's name. This is her website. Please check it out. And also, this is her phone number and email. Feel free to give her a call, send her an email, set an appointment with her. She is someone that is extremely valuable, could give you a great new perspective on your search, give you some great tools. Let's see. So please write this down, and we're going to go on to your questions. Let's see. Okay, let's make sure this is working. Second. Let's see. Second. This was one of the technical issues we had. All right, 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if any of you are here from Friday morning's webinar, we tried to let's see, we tried to have a webinar Friday afternoon, and unfortunately, we just had some tech issues. This was one of them that we kept disappearing. And we thought we had it fixed, but here we go. Let's see. So, okay, there we go. So you want to just, would prefer if we were talking face to face, but unfortunately we'll just have this up here. Let me go through the questions. So here's the first one. Let's see. Can you just cut paste your resume into your LinkedIn profile? So not if your resume is created correctly. There's some key differences. Went over, I think, a few briefly about your resume and LinkedIn profile. On LinkedIn, you're limited to 2,000 characters, and also in the job field, you're limited to about 1,800 characters. So what you need to do many times is take your resume and cut out things or make things abbreviated to be able to fit there. The summary on your resume should be more business focused, just focusing on your skills, accomplishments, and how you are a good match to the employer. The summary on your LinkedIn profile should be a little bit more personal. If you go through a bit of your history, you should talk about why you do the things you do, what you got you into the career. It should be a bit more personal. When someone reads your LinkedIn profile, they should come away from it feeling that they know you, that you're a friend, and hopefully it should make it that the person doesn't want to say no to you. Now, you could also check out, not now because I'm answering your beautiful questions, but as soon as we're done, please check out my LinkedIn profile. It's not written exactly like someone in a regular job because I'm getting clients to do their resume and create their profile. So it's a bit odd, but what you can do is look at my profile. You'll actually see some resume samples, and you'll also see many previous clients that I created their LinkedIn profile for them. I cut off the people from many years ago, so I should just have about 30 testimonials on my LinkedIn profile. Not all of them I did, but there are many of them. Many of those 30, I created their LinkedIn profile. You can get a good sense of what a proper LinkedIn profile should look like. Next question. I like what you said about having other people working for you, looking for jobs for you. You're welcome. That is the best way to penetrate that hidden job market. Aside from doing things online and networking, are there other ways that you can have people tell you about job openings? So yes, there are ways that you can network that are really old school resources that are tried and true and just as good as they ever have been. Consider joining local organizations or organizations in the area that you plan to work. Consider Chamber of Commerce, Toastmasters, volunteer work, if you have time for that. There's a good site, online site for that, and I apologize for recommending a thing online to get offline, but this is one, which is meetup.com. Meetup.com is actually more a social site where people create social groups, but if you check it out, you'll actually find job-related and industry-related groups. You'll find networking groups. You'll really find there everything under the sun, from people just looking to network that are new in the city, to speed dating, to groups doing speed stamp collecting, people doing morning runs together, or whatever. So that's another idea, which is to consider a passion of yours or a hobby and join up with a few of these groups so you could be doing what you like and meanwhile networking with new people in the area and after a certain time asking them, putting it out there that you are looking for a job and um, if they have any resources or advice for you or referrals. Next question. Let's see. How can I find recruiters in a particular field on LinkedIn? So it's a very good question. Um, Another way is to search by your job. So again, let's say you're an accountant. So search for accounting groups, accounting recruiters, CPA groups, CPA recruiters, um, and you'll start finding not only the recruiters themselves, but you'll also find professional groups, and those are great to join because of what I mentioned earlier in the webinar. Once you join groups of recruiters, there's a whole bunch of people there looking for people like you, and once you put out there that you're looking for a job, then hopefully they'll be able to either help you themselves or be able to refer you to a resource that can be helped. Next question. I've been in HR for over 10 years, so thank you for explaining why we have internal recruitment programs. You're very welcome. I never consider the time and costs involved we have to put our positions out there. My question is, I want to consider a different role, it could be internal. I love my company. I have a lot of skills such as project management and operations. How can I create a focused job search? So this is a great question. Actually, it's a lot more common than you might realize. Most people spend about, the average is 3 years in a job. Then either they get fired or they leave or they move on or get promoted. Actually, most studies, you might find this interesting, show that at least Americans go through an average of 7 major career changes in their life. So most people don't start with one job right out of college and work at it for 50-something years. Most people have major career changes throughout their life. So you're definitely not alone. Now, I would say that a focused job search has to start with focus. So you have to know what you're looking for because you might be finding something and not know that you already found it. So this actually would be a fantastic question for Sharon because she really has a specialty in career testing, and she has a bunch of different tests that can help you really identify your strengths, your interests, what kind of jobs and industry that would be a best match for you. I know briefly about certain tests, like for example, there's a test called Myers-Briggs. You could ask her about this. I know very generally about it. She knows a lot more specifically about it, and she could, actually give that test to you, and you guys could discuss the results together. Let's see. How much time do we have left? For a few more questions. Okay, here's a good one. I use the major job boards like CareerBuilder and Monster. What are the niche job boards that you mentioned? Okay, so to search for job boards, consider, again, you want really just throw these kind of things into Google and on LinkedIn, maybe even Twitter and Facebook. Things like best accounting jobs, if you're an accountant, CPA job boards, CPA niche job boards, any kind of terms like that, and you'll hopefully find a bunch of resources. Also, when you're doing your job search and you're finding blogs and things like that, articles, all these things are really great tools that you could use. Also, if you find a blog, you find an article that really speaks to you and you find it valuable, feel free, pretty much all the time you can find the author and contact them and say, hey, really loved your article, really valuable information. You always want to butter someone up first before you hit them with what your request is. So tell them, hey, great article, really got a lot out of it. I'm actually looking for a niche job board in project management. Do you have any way I could find this, or can you help me in any way? And most of those authors are heavily involved in the field, and let's see. And so that would be a great way. Let's see, here's a great question. I have 6 years experience as an executive assistant. Then I took 3 years off traveling and volunteering. Now I want to get back and find a job. Will it be difficult? So 3 years off, um, it's a bit of a red flag. If you have any kind of career gaps in your resume that could be a downer or a negative to an employer, there's different ways to eliminate that or focus on what you want the employer to focus on as opposed to focusing on a big hole in your resume. One thing is on your resume, you should not have months listed, so just years. So if your last job ended January 2009, don't put January, just put 2009. And for all anyone knows who's looking at your resume, you could have worked up until December 31st at 11:59 p.m. And also your other job, whenever that started, always put the year. That a lot of times helps to eliminate a lot of gaps. Now, you mentioned here that you did volunteering, so that's great. I would see if we could put in your resume something about the volunteer work that you did, again, focusing on transferable skills. So you said you're an executive assistant, so if you were volunteering and you did anything about any kind of administrative work, if you were answering multi-line phone systems, if you were working in an office and helping create or improve processes, if you're doing, let's say, some minor accounting work, supporting someone, supporting, let's say, the head of that nonprofit. So those would be great things to put. Another thing is to consider education. So if you were online taking any kind of courses, so you could put some little note in your resume before that job from 3 years ago and put something about keeping current on industry trends through educational courses such as blank, blank, and blank, and list some things online. You'll find a lot of great free courses online. And also consider books that you're reading, videos that you see on YouTube, anything like that. So let's say you read a book or saw the audiobook or got the ebook of, let's say, Dale Carnegie. That's a very key thing that employers look for how to win friends and influence people. Or a lot of his books are about communication, about negotiation, social skills, things like that. So if you look at lectures about Dale Carnegie, he skills or something like that, let's say like project management, you watch videos about it, you read books about it, especially sales, you could actually start out your resume not with your professional experience, but start out your resume with a professional development section and wow the employer with the current things that you've been doing. Let's see, we have just a few minutes left, so let's try to tackle one or two more questions. You had all these great numbers for how great LinkedIn is. Why would I spend my time on other sites like Facebook and Twitter? So, very good question. And the key thing also, as I mentioned, is never waste your time. Your time is your most valuable commodity and your most valuable resource. So, always try things, give it a chance, see what works. If it doesn't work, stop it immediately and move on to something else. At the same time, please remember what I said earlier in the webinar about using every possible resource to eliminate your job search as quickly as possible. So it is true that most employers and recruiters post their jobs and recruit you and monitor you on LinkedIn. However, the fact is that Facebook has over 1 billion users. That makes it about 5 times bigger than LinkedIn. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, size does matter. The more people means more opportunities. Now, you might have more Facebook connections also than you have on LinkedIn. So as I just showed you a whole bunch of tools that it takes your Facebook friends and it shows you how to integrate that into your job search. So you might have a lot of people on Facebook that aren't with you on LinkedIn. So that could actually be a great resource for you. Now, while Twitter obviously doesn't have a whole lot of jobs or a whole lot of recruiters searching for people on there, however, Twitter is the world's most popular platform for advice. So if you just put out there on Twitter, now you might want to just have, let's say, like 1% of your time of your job search on Twitter. You might not want to give a lot of time to it, but at least try to go on there once in a while and put out there, hey, I'm looking for a dental job in Los Angeles. Does anyone know of any job openings or know of any good resources? And you'd be surprised what you find on there. Let's see. And really the most effective thing is to make sure to use those mega sites, because again, those find the jobs from all those different sites. And what that allows you to do is minimize the percent of time that you spend on social media and enables you to dedicate that time to something else. So we're just about out of time. If you had questions that weren't answered, feel free to email me. You have my email there on the screen. Again, right now it's still Sunday afternoon in America. Tomorrow, in probably about 24 hours or so, we should be sending you a very brief survey. Please take the time to fill it out. It's really just going to be a few questions, and we really want to know if you found today's webinar valuable and also what subjects you want to see in future webinars. Let's see. So, and again, if you are in need of a professionally done resume, LinkedIn profile, career documents, and you would like me to work with you on your job search, please feel free to email me or click on those offers that you saw. Please also contact Sharon. She is a phenomenal resource and well worth your time. You'll get a great deal out of her. I want to thank all of you so much for participating, and I hope to see all of you again in future webinars. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.